Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is evenleasesc, and today on 15 Minutes More or Less Hardware Review, I'm taking a look at the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 with an unboxing, going over its software, going over the settings, and showing you how it works with my review. Starting with the unboxing. This is the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Now, once you open the box, you'll see it sitting here very beautifully. This is very well packaged. It feels very well put together, and it was shipped very nicely. Now, taking a look at this, I mean, it just looks like a very nice little setup here with the sensors and the camera. Definitely nothing to complain about. It has little protectors over the lenses as well, so that's good. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop open this here, take a look. Now, once I remove this from the box here, I'm going to show you what's underneath and kind of go over the install here. Now, as you can see, it does come with everything required, including an extension cable, because the USB from the camera itself is somewhat short. So this extension cable here will be nice. And then it shows you with, instructions on how to install it if you have a flat monitor or if you have a curved monitor, which it does work with a curved monitor, which is really nice. That piece right there is for the curved monitor. And then there's two other pieces for the flat monitor that will help attach the camera, which you can see right there on the top. And it's really awesome. So as you can see, it tells you to go ahead and wipe down the area that you're going to be sticking those magnets to. And then you just go ahead and place them there, or the metal pieces, honestly. And then once you do that, with the tape on the back, you're able to go ahead and mount the camera itself to those to that metal piece. It's just basically a magnet on the Tobii. Same thing here with the curved screen. You just place that underneath the screen itself and it would stick there, and then you would attach the camera unit magnetically to that there as well, which is really awesome. It's very easy to do. Just as you see here, I have it already placed. I centered it as best as possible. You can't, maybe you could try to be 100% accurate, but yep. I did that, and then I took the unit itself, made sure everything looked good, followed the line, looks good. I attached the extension cable to it to help reach from my monitor over to the back of the PC. Don't mind my wire job back there. And then I just went ahead and stuck it up there. It sticks to that metal piece very easily, and it feels very snug. It's definitely not going to fall off. From there, you'd go ahead and attach it and turn on your computer, and here you go. It's going to go ahead and start up, and it should automatically download this Tobii Experience app, which it did for me. If it doesn't, you just go to the website. From here, you can choose all your settings, but it'll start you off with a calibration, which will look somewhat like this. Basically, it's going to show you kind of where your eyes are, kind of like what it's doing for me. And then from there, it's going to have you go through a little bit of a test to kind of calibrate where the position of the Tobii Eye Tracker is. You're just going to go ahead and follow the instructions. Look at the dot until it explodes. It's really, honestly, such an easy setup. Look at each dot. It'll go ahead and calibrate the device to your kind of screen and kind of where your eyes have to go to meet the edges of the screen, which is really nice. And then once that's complete, you're pretty much good to go. It's, time to go ahead and hop into the game and set up your settings. But there's other things you could do on the apps as well. Starting off with, you go down here, you can take a look here. It shows you kind of some things about the games and stuff, and then you can preview your gaze, kind of see where your eyes are looking, and that's pretty nice. It's really neat. And there's actually an app as well you can download to kind of show this when you're recording like a video game or you're streaming, so that's really cool. Kind of show your audience what you're looking at. This preview here will not show up when you're in game. You'd have to get the separate app to do that. But otherwise, you could recalibrate or set up a different screen, change your user profile if you have multiple. And then while I was doing this, I took a look, and it really, all this Tobii stuff on the systems, it's just zero. Like, it's not taking up any performance really. No issues there, which I really appreciate. Anything to stay away from taking away performance for Star Citizen, right? And then they have another app called the Game Hub, which I downloaded because there's a lot of games that this device is supported by. So go through this, kind of look at what games you're supported. Obviously I have it for Star Citizen, and it's amazing. Like, I can't get enough of this thing. So let's go ahead and hop in game really quick, and I'll show you what settings are for what and kind of give you an idea. Now, taking a look here, you just go to options on the bottom and then to the top right to comms, VoIP, and head tracking. From here, you want to make sure the source right here is checked to Tobii. And then from there, right below that, you have to make sure you enable this. So choose Tobii, go here to the next line, and then make sure that is enabled. So option yes. From there, you have a bunch of other settings you kind of have to just go over while you're in game and kind of see what works best for you. But I'll go over, what I have set. The auto calibration is nice because every time you like leave a Mobi glass or something, if you have this on, it'll kind of recalibrate to where you're sitting. Or if you just use the hotkey, which I'll show you in a minute where that's at, you can turn it on and off the tracker and it'll kind of reset it as well. And then if you go down here, you can disable and enable when it's operating. So like during first person shooting, during your aim down your sight, which the ADS one, that's a little bit more jarring than the FPS one. I like the FPS one more, allowing you to check your corners. And then, you just have a bunch of other settings, like you can disable it while you're in the Mobi glass, which is naturally set to yes, or you can have it enabled. And same with like interaction mode, you can have it enabled or disabled. I have it, set to the default no, it works out great. And then, you just have more settings you can kind of look over and see what works best for you. Now, going off down the list here a little bit more, you got your roll in FPS, your toggle, external view toggle. It's kind of like when you're in third person. If you have that enabled, it'll allow your head to kind of, move the camera around a little bit. I like it, it's not bad, but I just don't use it. And then continuing down here, you got your device offset. So you have to mess if you like that or not. I have it on yes for right now. I'll try it with no later, but continuing down, you can go ahead and choose how long, if it's missing the input, so like how long you're not moving or anything, it kind of disables that. And then there's also the input scale. So depending on your screen size, you might have this, up higher or lower, giving more scale to kind of how it moves, a little bit of motion to your head, a lot of motion on the screen, or vice versa. And then here's your dead zone, which I have jacked all the way down to 0.01. So basically there's no dead zone. So the second I start moving my head, it's moving it in game, which I really like. And then here is some more settings like your based on rotation, your target selection, your missile luck. These are all really great settings to have on when you're flying and fighting, as well as your option to choose your camera boost or your input mix. Input mix is using your eyes primarily. Camera boost is using your head, so it's tracking your head. Camera boost is also a very new feature that creates an additional boost to your head tracking rotation. So when you rotate your head towards where you're looking on screen, the boost gets stronger the further from the center of the screen you're looking, and the more your head rotation is in the same direction as you're looking. So it's a fantastic feature, and you can kind of mess with these settings here. I have the head tracking fully to 1 instead of kind of mixing that around. You can have it a little bit of both eye and head, which definitely does work out. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. And here's the sensitivity. So choosing one of these options and kind of messing with it, you'll see a big difference in game. So the higher you go, obviously the more sensitive it is. So when you move your head, it moves your head in game dramatically, or not so much. I have it set to 1.20. Going on down here, you do have your auto center enabled. I have that set to yes because I like having it kind of center me in the cockpit. But again, something to mess around with, see what works for you. And then here is a repeat basically of all those prior settings, but for the first person shooter aspect of the game. So if you want to mess with that too, if you want to enable during first person shooting, that is definitely something you can modify. I love the amount of settings you have with the Tobii Eye Tracker, allowing you to kind of mess with things completely how you want. And then if you were to look at your key bindings, it's not showing it here on this, but if I go into the further settings down below, you'll see that you can enable and disable the head tracking via a keybind, which right now I have it on the numpad /. So that right there allows you to kind of reset it if you need to. You just click that really quick and it'll kind of reset you if for some reason you're off track, which I haven't really had happen yet. And then you could, modify a couple other key binds to help you as well if you need a recenter or anything. So that's fantastic. Gotta love that. More key binds the better, right? But yeah, the Track IR does give you a lot of settings and a lot of freedom to kind of change how it's reacting to you and what you're doing in the game. So I really do appreciate that. Now let's go ahead and take a look in game on how this actually works. So here I am in a, F7A, going out, attacking targets. I just locked onto that target with my rocket mode without it being in the center of my view. Now, without this, you typically have to be center view unless you're, running some sort of strange gimbal or a different tracking software. But this one allows you to really just follow your targets and set up your, attack with your missiles or even with your guns if you put it in gimbal mode by pressing G. Now, doing that, as you can see here, I'm able to move my guns and fire, hitting my target using the gimbals just by moving my head. So it tracks where my head is and where I'm kind of aiming. This is sometimes a little jarring. You got to get used to it, moving your head or your eyes to move the crosshair. But it's such a cool experience being able to do that, especially with like this rocket mode here. Being able to engage a target like that without even having to have it centered. I can kind of keep him on my side while I'm kind of trying to get away a little bit and still engage him with a rocket. And that is just, I can't get enough. It feels great. And it just, something about it feels so natural. Love that. And I enjoy that greatly. Now, this also works for like when you're just flying around, you're going to do some salvage. It allows you to freely move around your cockpit, looking at your MFDs or having to choose different settings. Or even when you're salvaging, it allows you to operate the gimbal mode just using your head or your eyes, which is fantastic. So you can kind of just get your hands off the keyboard and just stare at your screen, kind of just moving it slowly, across the whole of a ship and do your job without having to, ever touch a mouse again, pretty much. Gotta love that. Next, you can also use this in racing. I tried to get into a race. Nobody joined, so nothing there, but same idea, same concept. Same for first-person shooting. It allows you to check your corners a bit, so this little demonstration here, obviously nobody joined, so I'll show you a different clip for when I was tracking somebody else. It really does feel so natural and allow you to kind of keep an eye on your corners when you're moving around, and I just love that. And you don't have to make big motions with your head either. Minor motions allow you to do this. Honestly, everything I've shown you, this thing is a total 10 out of 10. It feels fantastic. It came in great packaging, very easy to set up, very easy install. Comes with everything you need. A big library of supported games. It's amazing in Star Citizen, the best. Great head tracking, eye tracking, all phenomenal. It's just out of the way software, not intrusive at all, and it's a very easy to navigate website. Let me know down below in the comments if you have one of these or if you plan on getting one. I just want to let you know right now during this event and until the 28th of October, you can get this with 15% off if you follow the link down in the description below, as well as there is a link hosted by Tobii and Star Citizen or Cloud Imperium Games to win a potential giveaway for either this tracking device or a starter pack. So make sure you enter down in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. You all are truly amazing, and I'll see you in the next one.